The headlines say consumer confidence just hit a 12-year low, and if you watch the news, you'd think we're 3 days away from the apocalypse. And apparently we're about to all lose our jobs, our savings, and our will to live. But here's the twist. Low confidence doesn't destroy wealth. Panic does. And if this scares you, you're not ready for wealth. So in this video, I'll show you what this confidence crash actually means and why most people will mess this up, and how calm investors quietly turn fear into opportunity. New data shows US consumer confidence just dropped to its lowest level in 12 years. Translation, people feel nervous, they feel stretched, they feel like their paycheck is doing parkour trying to keep up with prices. And honestly, it's fair. Groceries are expensive, interest rates are high, and every financial headline feels like it was written by somebody who drinks anxiety for breakfast. And at this point, it feels like checking the news feels like checking WebMD. Somehow you always end up diagnosed with financial doom. But here's the key point that most investors miss. Consumer confidence measures feelings, not facts. You can have a growing economy, solid employment, rising corporate earnings, and yet still have people feeling broke, stressed, and pessimistic. Confidence falls when people feel pressure, not necessarily when the economy is collapsing. In other words, the vibes are bad, but the vibes don't pay our bills. And this is where behavioral finance really kicks in. When confidence drops, our brains go into emotional survival mode. I mean, mine has, yours has, we've all been there. Suddenly, we want to sell our investments. We want to hoard cash. We want to cancel our plans and financially play dead like a possum. Your brain sees a scary headline and says, sell everything and move to a bunker. Okay, calm down, Chad. We're not Mad Max. The truth is, most financial damage doesn't come from recessions. It comes from emotional decisions during scary moments. And here's the wild part. Historically, confidence is often lower near long-term opportunity. So when people feel scared, cautious, and pessimistic, that's often when long-term investors quietly buy. Dollar cost averaging starts to shine and patient money gets rewarded. Meanwhile, emotional money panic sells and then they regret it later. We've all seen it. It's documented. It's facts. Wall Street transfers money from the impatient to the unbothered. So what does this headline and what does all this mean for real people? Well, if you're working, this is your reminder to build or refresh your emergency fund. Keep lifestyle inflation in check and strengthen your income safety net. Not panic, just prepare like an adult. Look, emergency funds, you hear people talk about it and it's boring. I get it. But you know what else is boring? Crying over your checking account. I mean, come on. Oh, and speaking of lifestyle inflation, did you know that 40% of households earning over $500,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck? What? I mean, how does that make you feel hearing that stat? Drop a comment down below with how you would handle a household income of $500,000. Are you living paycheck to paycheck on what you do with that money? Let me hear about it in the comments down below. Now, if you're investing, this whole headline is not a panic sell signal at all. If anything, it's a reminder. Stay consistent, keep dollar cost averaging, and avoid timing fear. The worst investors are the ones who buy when confident and sell when scared. The best investors do the opposite quietly. Very quiet. I actually love buying when the market is down, and once you get past the daily consumerism and start thinking like a rich person, you'll have extra money to invest when everybody else is afraid. And this is the kind of flex that we all want and we all need. The secret is discipline. Scared money tweets, calm money compounds. Now, if you have debt, high interest debt becomes heavier when uncertainty rises. If confidence is falling, this is your nudge to attack that high interest debt, lower your fixed obligations, and increase your flexibility, because at the end of the day, peace of mind has a return on investment too. Literally, if you pay off your credit card that has a 17% interest rate, you get a 17% return on your extra payment. And that is far above and beyond what investing right now can do for you. Don't waste your time in consumer debt. Get out as quickly as you can. In fact, this is the arena that you should panic in. Like, get scared, get crazy, get out of debt. Like, the world is collapsing. Get out of debt. That's the key. And the real game here is becoming financially unshakable. You don't win by financially predicting the economy. You win by becoming emotionally unshakable. Confidence will rise, confidence will fall, markets will rally, markets will drop, but the people who build real wealth are the ones who stay boring, consistent, and disciplined while everyone else is spiraling. Your future isn't built on headlines, it's built on habits. That's the Sharpe money difference. So, here's your no panic checklist. 1. Don't sell investments emotionally. Strengthen savings, not fear. Control spending instead of doom scrolling. And focus on behavior, not predictions. Confidence being low doesn't mean that you're doomed. It means you have a chance to be more disciplined than average. If consumer confidence being low does make you nervous, that's totally human. If this video helped you feel calmer, smarter, or more in control, please hit the like button because calm investors outperform panicked ones. And that's how we continue to build our Sharpe money. And my calmness is rooted in 2 different things. 1, investing a simple $5 a day, which you can check out in this video over here, and also a simple 3-fund portfolio. It doesn't matter if the market's up or down, I'm having a good time and staying consistent. And that video is right over here. Until next time, we'll see you on the next video.